What's going on, everybody? It's the Sports 2.0 show. It's the Put the Kids to Bed version of the Sports 2.0 show. I am Rodney Newple. He is Tim the Jet Van Stratton. What's up, Jet?
Who do you consider more to be the Jet? Is it Kenny Smith or Jason Terry?
Kenny Smith.
Kenny the Jet Smith? Yeah.
You hear that more.
In my era, it was always Jason Terry.
Yeah, no, you're right. But nowadays, I think it's got to be Kenny. I mean, we hear it more often.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, what's Jason Terry up to these days?
I don't know. Whatever it is, it's still with those knee-high socks and just draining threes. I love Jason Terry, man. What a player.
You think he just walks around, heads into like grocery store with knee-high socks, a headband on?
Him and Kyle Korver both with the high socks, just draining threes.
That reminds me. So that's a good start here. That reminds me. You're always the brave TBT team is going to go down in history. I did not see this because I was traveling throughout the weekend, but I went back and I've seen a little bit of the footage. That's pretty amazing, man.
Yeah, so I was going to save the whole explanation of what happened yesterday.
Oh no.
For a GCD, but we can get into it right now if you want.
No, let's do it. And then you can bring it back as the GCD later because that is a total and utter gutless choking dog.
Okay, yeah. So like the biggest Elam-ending comeback in the history of the TBT. So Bradley ends up being down, I think, by as many as 16 points during the game. The Elam-ending number is 74.
Yeah.
Hoopsville Warriors was the team that the Always a Brave team was playing, and it was 72-59. Okay, so 72-59, meaning that they needed just one basket from the field, and then the game was over. Okay, and trust me, the way that Bradley was playing, Bradley had several missed free throws, terrible shots, turnovers. The whole thing, I think by the time it was 72-59, it took about 25 minutes before the game actually ended.
Wow.
So that's kind of only something that can only happen due to the Elam ending. But long story short, Hoopsville had about 18 possessions by the time that they had 72 points. They hit one free throw to bring them to 73. But then following that, they went to the line not once, not twice, but three times. Missed all three of their free throws, which, again, one of them would have won them the game. They missed 11 shots from the field. They had 7 turnovers. And then ultimately Bradley ties it. And then Bradley gets a defensive rebound, throws it down the court to Marcellus Somerville, who was a star from the 06 team, who's wide open, goes in for a layup, and gets mobbed for the victory. It was, and I mean, granted, it's the TBT. Yeah. It's the first round of the TBT, but I have never seen anything like that in my life, and it was quite honestly one of the most amazing basketball performances, both for its ridiculousness and ineptitude, as well as just the sheer chances of anything like that ever happening. It was incredible.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't even really that Always the Brave was that good in the comeback, right?
No,
no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like Bradley got hot all of a sudden. Like, they were missing free throws. They turned the ball over. Like, the second that they got the ball back after tying the game, like, I'm talking, guy would get a pass and it would go right through his hands out of bounds. and the fouls that they were committing against Hoopsville, it wasn't even like shooting fouls. Like, it was just like kind of like checking, like, backing him down, and then like Patrick O'Brien would get a little bit too much with the elbow, and then the crowd would boo because it's like, oh, how are you going to let the game end like that? Except the guy would go and miss it, and it was like a different player each time for Hoopsville that went up there, and meanwhile their benches turned into the crowd like it's over, but it never happened because they missed every single free throw.
Give me where's Hoopsville based out of?
I think they're out of Chicago. They were a last-minute replacement team that replaced Tubby Time.
Okay, yeah.
So it was supposed to be Tubby Time, so then Hoopsville is like a Chicago team. And listen, they played well, and they were hitting threes, and like there was a 99.999% chance that they were going to win that game, and they were by far and away better, and they just totally melted down, and they could not leave the court fast enough when that game ended.
And they got out of Peoria really quick. Out of Peoria in no time. Well, I'm glad you were able to witness that because, I mean, in the history of the TBT, no matter how long it goes, that's going to be – I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able to top that as far as a comeback.
Listen, 72-59. When you're 2 points away from winning is not something that you're going to see very often. It was 73-62 when they hit that one free throw to bring them to within 1 point.
Yeah.
And then from there, Bradley went on a 13-0 run. So
that's amazing. So we'll rehash this in our GCD of the night. It's a special edition.
I got another GCD too on top of Hoopsville, so we'll get to that.
So let's turn our attention to Major League Baseball real quick. Tanner chimes in and he says, "How about them Red Sox?" So I think Tanner took it a little personal last week as a Red Sox fan. We were bashing him a little. I think I bashed him a little bit on the loss to the Yankees. And for the 1,000th time, they played the Yankees again tonight. They've literally played 1,000 games against each other this year. Red Sox Yankees are every weekend. Every weekend we got Red Sox Yankees. Red Sox with 5 runs in the 8th, big comeback win today. I mean, at this point, I know people have been saying this a while, but the Yankees are done, aren't they?
The Yankees are horrendous. I know we could sit here and celebrate, what a comeback victory, but the Yankees are so bad. Do you see the lineup that they put together yesterday? Yeah,
it wasn't good.
So I recognize, and Rodney, as you know, I follow baseball pretty well.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I recognized 5 guys in that lineup. I had never heard of the other 4 guys. That's half of the New York Yankees lineup, and I was like, who the hell is this guy?
Yesterday's lineup, DJ LeMahieu, Gardner,
Stanton, Odor, Torres, great. And then Greg Allen, who may have been a Cleveland Guardian at some point.
Yeah.
Something Gittins.
I
had a Florial who I asked a friend, and apparently he's one of their top prospects, and then Rob Brantley.
Yeah, no idea.
I mean, for God's sakes, man, that payroll is like $200 million.
that's what 200
we have.
Oh yeah, and then today's game 5-4. What an epic comeback by Boston. Going on Boston, sire. Are you still Boston, or are you the Rays to win that division?
Oh, I mean, the Rays are still only a game back.
Yeah, game back. I mean, I think you got to count out Toronto from winning that division at this point. They're 9.5 games out.
Feels like it. Yeah. So it really seems like it's a 2-team race there. I will continue with Tampa Bay. I feel like they will know how to sort of manage their bullpen and their pitching staff a little bit better down the stretch in September, which is going to help out. It's kind of like what Craig Counsell does with Milwaukee and what makes them so successful in the late games.
Speaking of Tampa Bay, picking up Nelson Cruz is a nice pickup for them. I mean, that's a guy that's literally going to get 4 at-bats a game. He's going to hit home run every 2 or 3 games. He's already got 2. But just really, I think, makes that lineup obviously much deeper, puts some power in there, puts a threat in there, and really just kind of changes that dynamic of the lineup. That's a big pickup for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, there's a name that we have in the baseball community for guys like Nelson Cruz. You know what it is? It's called professional hitter.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
The guy just hits. He's like 47 years old.
Yeah.
No player in the 2010s hit more home runs than Nelson Cruz did. And yet here we are in the 2020s, and he is just continuing to mash. It was such a good pickup. And I know that Minnesota actually got a pretty decent package for him, so good on them. But, yeah, Nelson Cruz is going to come through for a team like Tampa big time.
Yeah, I was begging for if the NL did go to the DH this year. That was obviously my choice for the Cardinals. Obviously, that didn't happen. But, I mean, the guy just continues to rake. What is he? He's what's he at 294 or something this year?
Yeah, he literally led the Twins in every offensive category, I think, with the exception of hits.
Yeah, several-time All-Star, 6th in the MVP voting last year. So, yeah, I mean, the guy's good. But let's stay on that real quick. Major League Baseball, the trade deadline is what, Friday? And they're going to be interesting because there's a lot of teams, probably buyers. I mean, you look at the NL Central. Well, I'll start in the East. You look at the NL East. You got 3 teams within 5 games. I think Washington, with their 4 losses in a row, have faded out. You got 3 teams in the NL West that are competing. You got 2 at the top of the AL East. You got White Sox in the AL Central. And then you got a couple in the AL West. And then you got Cardinals, Cubs. Obviously, Cubs going one way. Cardinals, we don't know what they're going to do. What are we going to look at this trade deadline? When we get done, if we had a show on Saturday, what are we looking at? Who's going to be our, hey, man, these guys bought, and, oh, boy, these guys sold.
Well, I think for buyers, I think you're going to get another trade deadline where San Diego buys. I mean, we already saw the one trade today that they made. Adam Frazier leads the league in hits. And I don't think that they're done. I wouldn't be surprised if they go out and get another pitcher, both maybe a starter and a reliever. I think there was a fake rumor that was going around today from a guy named Mike Hawk. Don't say that name too quickly. That the Padres were going to acquire Craig Kimbrell. And I know that it was a joke, but also legitimately I feel like they could acquire Craig Kimbrell. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we're sitting here and saying, man, the Padres are really going for it again because they feel like they could still win that division. As far as other teams that I feel like are going to be buyers, my guess is you are going to see the billionaire that's running the Mets now say, hey, you know what, let's go for it. This is our chance to win the division. Let's really make a statement here. You know, the Yankees are out of it. We can get all of New York's attention. So I think the Mets could be a buyer as well. So those are the two teams that come to mind right now. And I don't know if you have any more.
What about Boston?
Boston, yeah, you think maybe a pitcher for them?
Yeah, I think they could solidify the rotation a little bit.
I don't hate that.
Yeah. I mean, is Max Scherzer going anywhere?
So this is where it gets tricky because Max Scherzer yesterday was supposed to start.
Yep.
And that maybe would have been his quote-unquote audition for a team. But then he was pulled due to what I believe the team said was tricep soreness. That's not what I want to hear if I'm another team. And especially because he's already had a stint on the injured list earlier this year. So I really don't know. I always get so nervous whenever these injuries come up. But also you have to think, okay, maybe it's them just being a little bit preventative because he hasn't been put on the injured list for this.
Are the Cubs going to make teams overpay for Kyle Hendricks?
Do you think it's Kyle Hendricks that's going to get moved?
Well, I mean, if he's the best pitcher on that staff. I mean, Zach Davies is probably a cheaper option that's going to go.
That's true. I just wasn't sure if, as far as deadline deals go, if Kyle Hendricks was in that same group, because clearly, a guy like Brian or a guy like Kimbrel, I think would make some sense. But Hendricks has that team control already, so I could see him being more of those like traded during the offseason type of players. Yeah, it would certainly be interesting with the Cubs here the final few days of the season. Rizzo Bryant went back-to-back today, and all the Cub fans reminisced about the good old days. But they are congratulations, winning the series winning against the worst team in baseball. Yeah. Good for you.
Still not a very good baseball
team. They lost yesterday 7-3.
Speaking of that, White Sox Brewers are playing now. The White Sox are trying to prevent a sweep. It's 3-1 going to the bottom of the ninth. So
I would like to point out, if I've done the math correctly here, Rodney.
Yeah, sure.
I would like to point out that there is a pitcher for the White Sox that has driven in more runs than he has allowed this evening.
Yeah, man, Lance Lynn. And, I know you love the designated hitter, but there he is. I mean, I know you love pitchers hitting too, right?
I do, yeah, especially the ones that hit 35 home runs. Yeah, that's the kind of pitcher I like hitting.
Who pitches tomorrow?
I would rather have that than Lance Lynn occasionally getting a RBI opposite field single.
Yeah, and then Brandon Woodruff got a hit off him immediately after that. Did not score a run, but both pitchers picked up hits there. But that's – I mean –
that is pitching matchup all week between those teams. Like every single day of that series was really strong on the mound.
Possible World Series matchup?
I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I'd like it. Let me ask you this. If you're a Cubs fan, who do you root for in that series?
Oh, man, that would be brutal. Just absolutely brutal.
I think you got to root for the White Sox.
I guess, yeah. That would be a great series, and obviously it would be the year of Milwaukee. I could see it. I certainly could see it. The Brewers and the White Sox.
Well, do you remember when the North, I was going to say the Northeast, but in particular, the Boston, New England area just dominated the sports world?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And they were the sports capital, and now it's Milwaukee and Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, Tampa. How about that? Yeah, I find that interesting as well. So, hey, let's move. I know you wanted to talk a little NHL draft.
Yes, finally, Rodney. I have thoughts, I have takes.
Yeah, we went 15 minutes without talking NHL draft, and I know you're getting a little antsy over there for the NHL draft. And my guy 91 is still on the team. He's still in St. Louis.
And not only that, but now I'm seeing like the rumors of like, oh, they may actually hold on to him. They may be able to smooth things over.
Yeah, and they haven't asked him to waive his no trade clause yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he going to be a Blue on opening night?
I'm starting to think, yeah. I mean, and I know Doug Armstrong has to say these words, but I mean, basically he came out and said, we don't have to trade this guy. And, and he has to prepare right now and through the offseason to start the season as the St. Louis Blues. So, yeah, I mean, I know he has to say that. He's not going to come out and say, yeah, we got to give him away. But I'm starting to think he might. And how do you smooth that over, though? I mean, I don't know how that repair, because it sounds like the relationship was damaged beyond repair. Like it was messy divorce.
Right.
How do you bring it back? I guess I'm just not understanding how you would bring that back. I mean,
if I'm Tarasenko, I probably want assurances that you're going to have like a pretty significant role on the team's, one of the top two lines and on the power play, and that you are a part of the team going forward. But is he a top 6 forward right now? Like this team? Yeah. I'm not saying that he isn't imperial, but like on this team, especially with some of the younger guys that they have, and I know that you would know that better than I would.
He probably still is, but we need to see him healthy first.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem, is we just haven't seen him healthy, and it's going to be hard for the Blues to promise that, to even say that. You're a top line guy, because they haven't seen him play that way. Yeah. And even when he's come back, he hasn't been very good. And I know he's chapped about not being captain, but he's got to understand. I mean, Ryan O'Reilly's about the definition of a captain. I mean, that, so his assistant, his A role is about as good as you're going to get, and while Ryan O'Reilly's there. So I don't know. Well, let's get to the draft. What are your thoughts on the draft? Some of the guys that went in spots that you liked, and let's hear about the NHL draft.
I don't want to go too deep into the NHL draft, because I feel like this is going to be a very niche thing, but I'll give like one team who I loved what they did, and then another team where I didn't understand what they did.
Yeah, let's hear it.
The one team that I absolutely loved what they did, particularly early on, was Columbus. Yeah. Like Columbus has basically said, you know what, we're not good. We're going to tank. We're going to collect draft picks. They were the only team going into this draft that had 3 first-rounders.
Yeah.
And they got 2 really, really good players within the first 12 picks or so. Kent Johnson, I think, is going to be a really good, solid player for them. So I really like their whole draft strategy. What I didn't like was the Ottawa Senators. And it's kind of funny, because Ottawa, who now, I don't know if you know who their big front office acquisition is now, but they have hired Pierre Maguire.
Yes.
So this had Pierre Maguire written all over it, because they had the 10th overall pick, and they more or less took a guy who I believe was graded as a 3rd-round player. And they had a number of picks where people were like, yeah, at his absolute ceiling, he'll be a pretty good 3rd, 4th line guy. So it's almost like, okay, hear me out. It's almost like the Senators were like, hey, you know what? We already have some first-line guys, some second-line guys, but let's really fill out our bottom 6. So let's draft players where the best they can be are bottom 6 forwards. Yeah. And that was how they approached the draft. Like, it totally has Pierre Maguire written all over it, because hockey's a 4-line game, and you got to have that grit and all that shit. So, yeah.
So what is his role as the senior vice president of player development?
Right. Yeah. So like, player development in particular seems like something where he's going to have a pretty big hand in the drafting and development of these players. So I think he's going to try to develop them into nice quality bottom 6 forwards. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. And there's a whole lot of other, NHL draft things that I could sit here and bore you with. But the more interesting thing with hockey, though, were all the trades that have been happening.
Yeah, yes.
So as a Blackhawk hater, I'm sure that you didn't love seeing them acquire Seth Jones.
No, not really. Pretty good player.
I'm going to give you a little bit of solace here. That contract they gave him was maybe, just maybe, one of the worst things that I have seen in the last calendar year of the NHL.
And why did they? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so first things first, they gave up a first-round pick next year as well as their top defensive prospect in order to acquire Seth Jones. So like a pretty steep price as it is, okay? So Seth Jones immediately, as soon as he was acquired by Chicago, earned a contract extension that takes him around $9.5 million per season, paying all the way through 2030. $9.5 million all the way through 2030 when he's 35 years old. What more or less they did is that they took the money that they just saved by trading Duncan Keith, and they immediately threw it at another player. Now, granted, Seth Jones is a better player at this point than Duncan Keith, but it's not like they were like, yay, finally cap savings. They were like, sweet, cap savings, let's immediately give it away 3 days later. But in addition, the reason why this is so bad is because one day after Seth Jones gets that deal, Cale Makar on Colorado, who's 22 years old, who is probably one of the top 3 or 4 defensemen in all of the NHL, gets a contract extension that pays him $9 million per year. So Cale Makar gets an extension that takes him through his age 28 season at $9 million per year. Meanwhile, the Blackhawks are now paying Seth Jones through age 35 at $9.5 million per year. I mean, it's like they were allergic to saving money.
Yeah.
And they wanted Seth Jones, and even though they acquired him and like, sweet, he's on our team, they immediately threw every sort of cap space they had at him, and it didn't make any sense.
I guess my question is, how long has he been Popeye Jones' son?
How long?
Yeah. I didn't know that. Why did I
well,
not know that?
I learned yesterday that the dude that they acquired from Edmonton in the Duncan Keith deal, Caleb Jones, is his brother.
Yeah.
So now they have both the Jones brothers as well as both Doc brothers because they drafted Kirby's brother in the draft. That was like a theme. There was like 6 brother combos that were drafted.
Yeah, I did not know that. And then did you see the press conference for Seth Jones and his brother?
I did not, no.
It was on a boat in Lake Michigan, and it was overlooking the Trump Towers.
Nice. Cool. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. What does that mean? What's the hidden messaging behind that?
That's just where we're at. Tyler says he's a number 1. Got to pay him. He's overrated. Boquist is overrated. Was 30 I don't know what 30 days. Tyler also mentioned 30 days.
Maybe 30 days. That's how long he's been Popeye's son.
Oh, Popeye's son. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, I did not know that. I did not know that he was Popeye Jones' son, the former NBA player Popeye Jones. That's a little odd, though, right? An NBA player has 2 NHL players, and it has 2 NHL sons.
I guess so. Yeah, I think that could be a little interesting, but whatever. I got no problem with it. But to his first thing about a number 1, I'm not saying that Seth Jones is a bad defenseman at all. He's a very good defenseman. I'm just saying that one day after you give him $9.5 million, where a superior younger defenseman gets $9 million is not a good look. That's all I'm saying, and that's why it looks really bad. So. There you go. I'll get off my soapbox now.
So I was going to start the show. We got distracted by the TBT. I was going to start the show with, basically talking about we are not, during these next 2 weeks, going to be an Olympic breakdown show. Nope, not going to happen.
Nope.
I'll watch the Olympics. I'm just not real diehard into the Olympics. But
is that an every Olympic thing, or is it just particular this year? Because I really like the Olympics, but it's been really hard for me to go all into it right now, and I don't know why.
I almost feel like with COVID and guys and gals, people getting out or being forced to get out. And then obviously being delayed from last year and not sure it was even, I don't know. Like something about that I think has kind of affected it for me. And I can't pinpoint why, but my point is here, we could have started the GCD with a certain basketball team.
Yeah. Might as well go into the GCD. So it was a 2-parter I decided to do. The first one was the Hoopsville Warriors. Yeah. And I would feel bad if there were any Hoopsville Warriors fans who were like, hey, you know what? That loss was absolutely devastating. Fortunately, we have the United States men's basketball team the following morning to, lift my spirits. There's a lot of people who are like, look, they don't have LeBron. They don't have Steph Curry. They don't have, like, blah, 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 blah. They shouldn't be losing to Evan Fournier in France. Like, no. When Evan Fournier drops 28 on you and France goes on a 16-2 run to end the game, I mean, I think the United States had, a 12-point lead at one point, and then they immediately went into the half losing by 6. Like, that's just terrible. They couldn't hit anything. There's no cohesiveness. Like, It clearly now we've learned that basketball is a far more international game to the point where the United States just can't waltz in there and expect to win every single year. It's just not the case anymore.
Yeah, and now there's rumors that Team USA is upset with Coach Pop's offense. The reason. That's the reason they're losing. Is he's teaching them that Spurs offense, and it's not working for them. So now the talking heads are trying to get them to fly Coach K into Tokyo, because I'm sure that'll work. But anyways, go ahead with Team USA. Your other thoughts on the Team USA? Like,
do we just think about how ridiculous that is? Like, what we're all talking about. It's like now they want to blame the coach, even though Kevin Durant, Mr. Amazing KD, went 4 for 12, and Damian Lillard was 3 for 10, and like. Drew Holiday, who just got fresh off of winning an NBA title, was the leading scorer for them off the bench. Like, it's terrible. Meanwhile, France is dominating inside. Evan Fournier, 28 points. Gobert, 14 points. Like, I don't care. Like, at some point, you have to realize that your talent should be able to beat these teams. Should be able to. And I know I just said it's an international game, but it's just, I don't know. It's a really bad look. And it's almost like, and I say this with all due respect as an American, I'm almost glad that they lost today. Yeah.
No, I understand that. I'm looking at the box score. I mean, what is Draymond Green doing for this team? He looks like he's doing he's doing almost nothing. What did he take? One shot? He got 2 rebounds. I mean, he did almost nothing for them. I know he's probably a defensive guy and he's a glue guy, but like he's not doing anything for them. I guess I don't know. I'm just trying to take apart. Why isn't Jason Tatum playing more?
Yeah, I really don't know. And I wish that they showed how the minutes breakdown was, but I really don't know. I'm sure that it's more of a defensive toughness thing because that's just how this international play works. But I don't know. I think Draymond's overrated. But
I see our boy JaVale McGee came up with 2 free throws in the game. He's on the team and did that. Clutch. And then who was the? Oh, Keldon Johnson. Johnson 0 for 1 and a rebound and assist. So
why if they're complaining so much about the Spurs style of basketball, why isn't Keldon Johnson getting more minutes out there considering he knows how to play Spurs basketball?
That's right. 10 for 32 from 3 for U.S., the gutless choking dogs of the U.S. men's basketball team. So when is their next game? They play, Thursday, I think? Is it Thursday? I don't remember when they play, but
I don't remember
they're going to have to find a way to win.
Yeah.
So, hey, let's go to the See It time. I think it's about time for that, where we dismiss those that have been eliminated from their roles over the last, since Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're about 3 or 4 days worth here. Let's go ahead, Tim, start with the See It time.
It's a big SIA list. SIA Olympic opening ceremony director who was fired after they uncovered comments that this person made 21 years ago about the Holocaust.
Yeah, and it was right before the opening ceremonies. I mean,
yeah, like right before the opening ceremonies. Yeah, they were like, "Oh, this person said something about the Holocaust in 1998," so they fired him.
Yeah, I feel like you got to have a grace period. Like if you said it within the last 10 years, maybe ground. But anything before that, once it's 10 years old, it's free game. That's kind of dumb, but I mean,
I feel like if you were the president, you should make that just like a national law where nobody can get canceled for anything that was said 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years or more. Once it hits 10 years, it's good. You can't get canceled for that. Yeah, that stuff just it doesn't really bug me. I know it bugs a lot of people, but it's kind of dumb. Come on, people. Anyway, so let's go to the next one.
Sounds like it bugs you. See Shea Weber, who's out for the year, and now they're saying he might not play ever. I mean, for God's sakes, the guy played the entire Stanley Cup Finals, and now they're like, oh, he can't walk. Can never put on skates again. I don't know. Hockey players, man.
He's fairly old now, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's old as shit. Yeah.
He's old as shit. He's, 30? 85. So he's 36 years old? Yeah, he's 36. He'll be 36 in August. Yeah, he's old.
Still,
as you said,
12 years on his contract. Yeah.
All right, next one.
I apologize in advance. There's a lot of hockey on here, which may not sit well with some of our viewers right now. But I'm
all right.
See Alex Nedeljkovic, the Hurricanes goalie, who's traded to the Red Wings. I think it's because his girlfriend is up there in Michigan, and he threw a fit about it. That's just me. See a Shane Ghost Despair traded to the Coyotes for literally nothing. Literally, there was no return on the trade. It was a pure dump. And do what the Coyotes always do. Just give us your crap, and we won't give you anything.
Well, his last name is what?
Ghost Despair.
How do you spell that?
Gostibehre.
All right, there it is.
Ghost.
God, the Ghost. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Fly.
I literally believe that there was no package sent back to Philadelphia.
Well, they also included 2 draft picks.
Right. So, like, that's what Arizona does, man.
Here you go. Take them.
I'm pretty sure Pavel Datsyuk, Marian Hossa, and Chris Pronger are all still technically Arizona Coyotes right now, even though none of them have played for like a decade.
Wow. Yeah, I'm reading about the trade. That's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
And this guy's not very good, though.
No. He was like amazing his rookie year, and then it's just fallen off completely.
Yeah.
See a Yermin Mercedes retirement.
Yeah, one day, not even 24 hours, and Ozzie Guillen went off on him. Did you see that?
I saw that.
Yeah, it went off on him. What do you call him, fat boy?
Something like that.
Yeah. So maybe it wasn't Tony that sent him spiraling. Maybe it's not all Tony La Russa's fault.
No, it was Tony La Russa's fault.
So here it is. Hold on real quick.
Okay,
Ozzie Guillen on Yermin. You're not Shohei. You're not Abreu. You're not Tim Anderson. You are a cheeseburger kid, fat boy. You're lucky to be in the big leagues. You're lucky some people got hurt and you had a great start to the season.
Why did Shohei get on the list? See, you've got 2 White Sox on it, but then also Shohei.
You're not Shohei. Yeah, man. Ozzie coming out punches there. I wonder, what do you think? I mean, does Yermin even care about what Ozzie says? The Yerminator care?
I don't know. At first, I was like, I don't think so, but I think also Yermin does really sort of take things a little bit more sensitively.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. And Tyler would like to see Ozzie as TLR's bench coach. That would be quite the pairing. No. All right, let's move on the next one here.
See a New York Giants first-round draft pick, Kadarius Toney, is officially on the COVID list.
That hurts you, but he'll be back.
I mean, listen, dude's going to have his antibodies, and then he'll be good to go for the regular season. Yeah. See ya Nelson Cruz traded to the Rays. See ya the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah. What do you think of the Guardians? You don't like it?
It has grown on me once I realized that the Guardians actually had some sort of significance to the city of Cleveland, and I saw what like the Guardians of Traffic were on the bridge. So I was like, all right, that's cool. And honestly, it's like they still have the D-ins. They're keeping everything the same as far as the logos and the colors. So yeah, we'll all get used to it. I mean, for God's sakes, there's a team literally called the Athletics. There's teams named after Sox. Like, get over it, people.
Yeah, and that's what I think too. Our buddy Nick Padone over there at BetJack, one of our partners over there at Cleveland, he really likes it. And he mentioned, he was one of the insiders that knew this ahead of time and was explaining why they were going to be the Guardians. And I like it too. Like, okay, it's got some significance, and I feel like that's kind of what people aren't getting here. Like they see and hear, oh, they're the Guardians. That's dumb. But they don't really follow why it's, imagine that people aren't really doing their research, which that's kind of the whole basis of the show. But anyways, they're not doing their research and they hate it automatically. I kind of like it. The logo's just kind of meh, but the name Guardians, I like it.
I think the G with the baseball and the wings is the best part of it. I know that's kind of been getting made fun of a little bit on Twitter, but I would absolutely get a hat with that.
Yeah, I like it. All right, what's the next one?
Next, we have Michael Thomas, ankle surgery, and may not be ready for the regular season. Bro, he sucks now, right?
Yeah, and he's been a little bit of a prima donna, or a lot of a prima donna.
Yeah.
So what does that do for the Saints? I mean, they still have plenty of receivers, right? I mean,
name one.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Emmanuel Sanders still there, right?
Yeah, but he sucks.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just give the ball to Alvin Kamara until he dies on the football field.
Yeah, but Sean Payton doesn't do that, so that's not gonna happen.
Saints are gonna be bad this year. I'm officially calling it right now.
Well, Jameis is gonna throw a lot of interceptions.
Yeah, and then Taysom will, have 15 carries at quarterback and then make 7 pass attempts.
So Traquan Smith, Deontay Harris, Marquez Callaway, Juwan Johnson, and Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Yeah, I feel good about that receiving core if I'm getting 2013 Drew Brees. I don't feel that well if I'm getting 2021 Jameis Winston.
Yeah, you're right. Saints suck. They officially suck. So who wins the NFC South? Oh, Tampa Bay.
Oh, yeah. How about the defending Super Bowl champion?
I guess my question is then who contends for a playoff spot? Atlanta? Carolina?
I mean,
nobody?
Why do any of them have to? I mean, no. I'm sure New Orleans will still be like 7-8 game winner. I'm not saying that they're going to be terrible, but I'm saying like they're not going to be a 10-11 win team.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I'm saying here.
All right, next one.
Sia Rich Hill, aka Dick Mountain, traded to the New York Metropolitans.
Dick Mountain, I like it.
Sia Rasmus Ristolainen fleeced the Philadelphia Flyers. Sia Pavel Buchnevich traded to the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah,
good move for them. Good move.
Yeah. Sia Sammy Blais on the other side.
Yeah, Sammy Blais any good or?
No. Not really.
Yeah, all right. Sia OEL, Oliver Ekman Larson, and Connor Garland. That was another brilliant move by the Coyotes, except sending their crap away and just getting draft picks.
Yeah.
Sia Seth Jones. We talked about him a little bit earlier in the show. Sia, and these are a couple fun ones. Vikings assistant Rick Dennison and Patriots assistant Cole Popovich. Now, you may not have heard of either of these guys, but Rick Dennison and Cole Popovich will not be coaching their respective teams this year due to their refusal to get the vaccine. Rick Dennison was just straight up let go because he refused to get the vaccine, and Cole Popovich is choosing to not be with the team because of his beliefs about the vaccine.
Nice.
So
are they just fired? Are they fired?
Well, Rick Dennison was let go. Cole Popovich, I don't think he was fired. I think he's just stepping away from the team, but I know Rick Dennison for the Vikings was let go.
I guess what's Popovich going to do? Is he still employed? I mean, I
don't know.
So is he going to work from Zoom?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a Trump flag football team that he can work with. Sia Jacob Voracek and Cam Atkinson, they were traded 1-for-1 for each other. A couple bad contracts, just swapped 1-for-1. Sia Anthony Miller traded to the Texans. I saw so many Bears fans who have just shit all over Anthony Miller for like the last 2 years to be like, oh, I'll tell you what, man, the Texans are getting a good receiver there. I think he has the potential. He sucks, and he's a terrible teammate. He's awful.
You want to talk about a team that sucks? That's the Houston Texans.
Well, and speaking of that, I don't know if this has been talked about enough, but they're like, oh yeah, Deshaun Watson's reporting to camp. What? They're saying he still wants to get traded. And last I checked, there were like 30 women who have said that he was inappropriate with them. And yet he's just reporting to camp this week, and no one is talking about it.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah. I mean, he's going to play, though.
Well, see, in my mind, I was like, there's no way he's going to play. He doesn't want to be there. And also, he has all this legal thing. And then there's like nothing that's happening with the legality issue. And then it's like, oh, he's just going to show up to camp still anyway. Aaron Rodgers isn't even reporting to camp.
Yeah, which is interesting news there too, which no surprise. But I was gonna look for the Texans win total. What do we think it is? What do you think it is?
Oh, it has to be 4.5.
I'll look it up. Go ahead and continue with some Sias if you got some more here. But
I just got a couple more. Sia Bryson DeChambeau out of the Olympics due to testing positive for COVID.
Yeah, see ya.
It's unfortunate. Sia Suns Vice President of Basketball Operations Jeff Bauer. Seems like a weird time for him to step down due to the whole finals thing. Sia John Rahm also out of the Olympics due to COVID. Now I have a theory here. So, actually, there's a couple different options. Number one, that first COVID test he got way back a few weeks ago was a fake positive, and then this one is real. Number two, that one was real, and he still has like the sort of antibodies that then show that he has COVID in his system, even though he's asymptomatic. Okay. Or B, he's gotten now 2 false positives. So where are we at?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I don't. How frustrated do you think he is?
Oh, I mean, he's got to be livid. I mean, never once has he like felt sick. He literally won the U.S. Open ever since he came out of quarantine, and now he can't compete in the Olympics. And like
after he couldn't win a tournament earlier a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, ridiculous. Sia Team USA basketball lost to the French. And then last but not least, and I apologize if I'm missing any late night ones, but see Adam Frazier, the hit leader in Major League Baseball, traded to the Daddies, the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, good deal for San Diego. I know they gave up some stuff, but that's going to help San Diego. And there's talk that he might play the outfield. San Diego go ahead.
They have Tatis and Cronenworth in the middle infield already. So, yeah, I think Frazier is probably going to be left fielder because you got Grisham, you got Will Myers who takes up some spots. So,
yeah. Real quick, Houston Texans win total is 4. They start at the Packers, and then they go to Dallas weeks 1 and 2. And then they have Tampa Bay in week 3. Or no, those are preseason games. Dang it. They got Jacksonville in week 1. That's a winnable game.
Yeah.
They've got Cleveland at Cleveland in week 2. No. They got Carolina in week 3. They got Buffalo in week 4. So, I could go down their list, but 4 wins, that's hard to take the under on 4 wins, isn't it?
Do you know what I love about the NFL, by the way?
What do you love about the NFL?
That the window closes so fast to where 2 years ago, you picked the Texans to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I did.
2019. At this time, 2019, you believe the Texans were a Super Bowl caliber team. And now we are sitting here looking at their schedule and wondering if they can get 4 wins.
Or was that 2019 pick just really, really bad?
No, because they were a playoff team.
Yeah, they were 10-6.
That's what I'm saying. That they were legitimately good. Yeah. Deshaun Watson is good. He led the league in passing last year still.
Yeah, they beat – if I remember right, they beat the Bills and then – weren't they up big on Kansas City? And then Kansas City ended up scoring like 50? Yeah.
Because they were up probably 21 or 28-0, something like that, and then they just got pounded. Yeah.
Anyways. All right, so is that all your Cias?
That is the end of my Cia list for now until Wednesday. Hey, you know what? It's going to be trade deadline week in Major League Baseball. Maybe we'll get a couple pre-deadline deals that we can add to the Cia list, but for now – this is what I got. And also see ya Hoopsville Warriors.
That is unbelievable. See ya Hoopsville Warriors. Well, when we do come back Wednesday, like you said, we'll have the NBA draft the next day. You can have some more TBT action going on, so you can see some more TBT teams.
I'm hoping that we're not seeing the Always a Brave team. They play Monday night, ESPN2. I expect everyone to be tuned in. It's probably the biggest sporting event of the night, if I had to guess.
Are you going?
I will not be going. I've made the decision that I'm never going to see anything as good as that live. Even if they win by a bajillion points.
I like it.
Not going to be nearly as good.
That's awesome. So. That's awesome. All right, well, let's get out of here. Let's close up the show. Tim, the Jet Van Stratton, we appreciate you coming on tonight. This is the Put the Kids to Bed version. Tim, thank you, buddy.
See you Wednesday.
Right. Yep, we're out of here. This is the Put the Kids to Bed version of the Sports 2.0 show. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. We're closing in on 800 followers. So make sure you tune in there, and we'll be back on Wednesday right here on the Sports 2.0 network.